In the bio, it says very deeply personal snapshots of loss, reconciliation, kind of what we've talked about. But then it kind of ends with, but they reflect light as well. So was that important? We've talked about that balance, but was it important not to stay in that darkness, but to...
Yeah, I mean, through everything, that's like, there is no progression through destruction, or there is no progression without destruction, is what I say. You know, it's like, you can't move forward in life, or you can't get stronger unless you go through difficulty or unless you break down your body. It's just like building muscle, you know? And if you're gonna build muscle, you need to destroy it before it grows back bigger.
Right.
And so it's like, that is what gives me hope, and that is what gives me light, that like anything that's difficult, it's like, it's just part of life, you know? And you can learn to transcend it, you know, which is, makes it exciting.
Sure, but especially with very, very tough topics, like a friend wanting to commit suicide.
Yeah.
How do you internalize that, or how do you apply that to what you are going through? How do you kind of, yeah.
Well, I get it. I mean, I get it. I get why someone would want to commit suicide. I understand that, you know? And who am I to say what is or isn't valid, you know? But at the same time, it's like, I feel like we're probably going through very similar things, these, you know, this person and I, but we're just dealing with it differently.
Right.
No better, no worse, just differently. And so, you know, I connect with other people's suffering because I feel like that's the one thing we all have in common.
Mm-hmm. But then, and we're kind of returning at what you said about thinking that everybody lies, but people must have come up to you and said that your music helped them through a certain period in their life. So does that affect you, or does that do anything with you?
It does, yeah. I mean, again, there's a part of me that never believes it.
Okay.
Like, it just, I can't believe it. Like, I can't, it's such an incredible thing that I could have a connection with a stranger that I've never met, you know? So, but it's helpful. If anybody listens to this record, Okovi, and, you know, if it helps them, that's really all I care about at this point.
And, well, you mentioned the title, Okovi. I looked up the translation. It's, I think, shackles from Russian. When did the title pop up?
I was doing a lot of thinking. And first, I wanted a title that was a Slavic word, so that I wanted it to be shared between a lot of languages. Because even though so many countries fight and so many borders are constantly in flux, you know, there are things that unite these people. And then when I thought about Okovi, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's amazing, because it's like the one thing that connects people are shackles or imprisonment. You know, we're feeling chained, you know, which is such a universal feeling, even though people sometimes think it's not. It is, yeah.
This might be too personal, you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but what are the kind of shackles that you struggle with then?
I definitely feel more a prisoner of my own mind, because I do struggle with, my whole life I've struggled with anxiety disorder. It's been debilitating ever since I was a kid. And so I feel like it's the wheels that are constantly turning in my mind, or it's like that wormhole I can get in. And sometimes I can't turn it off, and that makes me feel like a prisoner, yeah. And
I read something that's very interesting, because I read something that I can't remember where it's from, but you talked about religion and martyrdom, and then so is this kind of what you talked about, that you have to suffer through these kind of things and get it out?
Yeah. I mean, I think religion. I mean, I'm not a religious person.
Right.
I mean, I'm an atheist, but at the same time, I feel like I understand why people need religion, because we all struggle with those same questions that religion provides an answer for. You know, and so maybe that's why I have music. Maybe that's why I think about things too much.
Where for you then is, and I don't know anything about the Bible, but where's for you then the redemption? Is it in that hour on stage? Is it in the creativity itself?
Yeah, I would say it's probably either in my work having meaning, or in somehow building connections with the outside world. Yeah.
I don't know. Let me see. Well, I don't know if I should ask.
It's fine. It's fine. I'll leave to tell you. I'm not going to answer.
Because I can't remember where it's from, but I think it was a Facebook post or something where you wrote, "It took literal blood and literal
Wait, it's what?
Literal blood, sweat." Well, the
Oh,
phrase
right,
blood, sweat,
right,
and tears,
yeah,
and
yeah,
literal
yeah.
blood.
Yeah.
And you don't have to go into details, but what kind of creative process? Can you take me through that creative process? How that works? Especially when the subject matter is so personal and so dark.
Well, that's the thing is that blood was shed not for this record, but during this record.
Right.
And that was one thing that's why I said literally blood, sweat, and tears, whatever. But also just making this record was so hard, not because I didn't have inspiration or anything, but because there was just so much sadness that it was just like a really intense journey, that had a lot of those reasons.
So now that it's finished, and I suppose it's been finished for a while now, but what's your mindset now? Where are you now?
I have distance.
Okay.
I have distance, and the record was cathartic, but now it's done, and I'm starting to be able to be on the outside of it rather on the inside of it.
Right.
So I'm in a different point now than I was when I was making it. So I can talk about it. Yeah.
And I believe you're playing the whole summer. So
yeah.
Going through these songs and going through does that kind of transport you back to those feelings and to those?
Yeah, it does, and it's hard, but I just try to build new relationships with the songs so they don't constantly elicit the same images or memories, because otherwise it's too hard. Yeah.
Right. And is there already a song that has kind of changed meaning, or if you interpret differently now?
By playing live.
Or maybe just because of time.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about a good example. I don't actually, I think that it's still very new. So, but I do see that happening probably down the road. But I think the songs are still too fresh.
Right. Finally, then, you mentioned kind of the anxiety you have and showing what you've created to other people. In terms of performing live, then, is that the same?
Yeah. I have really bad stage anxiety, and I just shut my brain off.
Okay.
I just have to. It's like, or it's kind of like a leap, where it's like I either don't do it or I do it. So. Right,
but that's I think the key thing. You do have that choice to do it. So
yeah.
and this is my final question then. But what drives you still? Then I think I might have already asked this in some other form. But what drives you? What makes you continually go for it? To say, okay, fuck it, I'll do it.
Yeah. Well, the only other option is to not do it, and I feel like that has no surprises. I'd rather have a chance of being surprised by life than just living a life where I didn't take any risks, You might as well emotionally or physically risk yourself in some way.
I think that's a good ending.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time.
This was so intense.
No, sorry.